Everybody, thanks for being here. No opening statement. Just going to go right into to questions. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving week. I will start with this. We are having a turkey drive tomorrow. It's our annual turkey drive with our football program. Last year we weren't able to do it, so this year we're bringing it back and really excited about that. Helping a lot of organizations. I think there's 6-7 organizations that we're helping out with over, I think, 300 turkeys and 300 meals, and pretty cool. So our players are really involved in that. So I guess that's my opening statement. What questions you got?
PJ, the offense on Saturday against Indiana, a good performance, including the passing game. How would you sort of account for how well the passing game was on Saturday, and how do you sustain that for Wisconsin?
Well, I think it all goes into game plan of what you have to be able to do to win a football game, and what the defense allows you to be able to do. I thought that we had really good balance. We caught the ball really well. I think that was the passing efficiency was really high. Tanner had an 80% accuracy rate, which we want him to be able to have. 70% completion percentage, right around there. We want the accuracy percentage is something we look at all the time. You might like that, Dan, in terms of statistics and things like that, and what the book says. And but for us, like, we want to be able to have those balls be catchable within the radius, and then I thought our guys made huge plays. I mean, we got 7-8 guys involved in the pass game, including the running backs, our tight ends, all the wide receivers were involved, spread it around, but we were efficient. I think you can do that as long as you're efficient. There's been times this year we haven't been efficient in the pass game, and then we haven't been able to be as balanced as we wanted to be. Same thing in the run game. If we haven't been able to run the ball really well, we weren't balanced, and we had to throw the football. So. But I think it's just the execution part of that, the accuracy part of that, guys making the plays that they know they can make, and getting the coverages that we needed for one-on-one matchups, which running the football helps us do that. And if you can run the ball more effectively and you can be efficient in the pass game, even when you throw the ball down the field, you're gonna move the ball really well and score a lot of points.
Tanner's now the all-time winningest quarterback in program history, and you gave him a game ball after. How special was that moment for you and the team?
Well, that's really special. I think that, when you look at a quarterback who's won 25 games, maybe other programs, people sit there and go, that's it, and I get all that. But we can only control what we've done here at the University of Minnesota in the last 4.5 or 4.8 years, right? But what we said is we want to be able to change people's thoughts, perceptions, ideas, make sure that nevers aren't forever, and be able to connect the past to now and into the future, and really bring a lot of light to the traditions that are here and what we've been able to accomplish over a long period of time in the historic run in the Big Ten, of being a member of the Big Ten. But when you look at that, I mean, that just says how far we have to go. Okay, so it's a credit to Tanner because he is the all-time winningest quarterback in the history of our school. And hopefully he wins a lot more games for us, at the quarterback position. But it also shows with that number how far we have to go, right? And not having a quarterback drafted since the 70s, how far we have to go. But that's part of the reason of cultural sustainability. That's part of the reason for staying here. Those things excite me, right, of being able to do those things and accomplish those things for the players and for our university, of being able to connect the historic past we have into now and into the future. So, but it means a lot to it means a lot to me to know what that young man's been through, and when you're in a market like we're in, I mean, you're going to get all the credit when you win. You're going to get all the credit when you lose. This young man lost his father 5 months ago, and how hard that's been on him, and to be able to weather really, really difficult storms, keep his oar in the water and just keep rowing the boat, leading the football team, responding to the adversity, responding to the success. And you're never over that. Tanner's not over, right, the passing of his father. He goes through it every single day, and he will for the rest of his life. But just to watch his resolve and his courage to just keep going, that's what life's about. If you just keep going, somehow, some way, it's not promised and it's not guaranteed, but you're going to come out on the other end better. Maybe not just successful, however you define success, but you're going to become better. And Tanner's better now than he was just because of how he's never given up. He's never quit. He's got incredible courage. And like I said before, that's why he's the starting quarterback. And he's very talented when he plays at his best, right? He learns from his mistakes. He learns from his lessons. And our guys around him, have to continue to even play better. But very difficult situation. 5 tailbacks are out. Wide receivers are a rotating door, which last week was the first time we had our wideouts and everybody pretty much healthy on the field at the same time, right? And we were able to get the ball around to a lot of people. So we were 1-0 Indiana season. Got to be a lot better, but it meant a lot. I know it meant we're not into stats and these accomplishments because nobody will ever remember that. Like that's not something that you're going to talk about 20 years from now with Tanner. But the courage you will, and the leadership you will, and the resolve you will, and the fight that he has. That's why he's going to be successful no matter what he ever does. I mean, I might be working for him one day.
PJ, would you say your defense is as well equipped to, stand up to a game against Wisconsin as it's been since you've been here?
I think we're getting better every single week. I think there's always challenges, as you keep going through the season. Guys are healthy, guys aren't healthy. You're adapting your practice habits and what you're doing to make sure you get guys to Saturday, and this has been, we've had – think back how long it's been, and then you take 2020 involved in that of the lack of possibly training and being out and what that does to a team as you kind of get late in the year. There's still a lot of, I'd say, residual effects down the road, just even what maybe teams are feeling now from the 2020 season. But when you look at us defensively, we got guys that, are really smart, play incredibly hard, have played together for a long time, and have been within the same system for a long period of time. And that's what we want to continue to do. That cultural sustainability feeds over into the defensive side of the ball with Coach Rossi and what and how we do how we play defense. But I think our guys know what to do. They're playing very confident, playing at a high level. They're in the building all the time on their own. I mean, these guys love playing defense, and it's fun to watch. Do we have to get better? Absolutely. But I think one of the things that doesn't go noticed as much as maybe it should is, I think we're really good defensively at making adjustments throughout the course of a game. And it doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. But look at that first series. I mean, we saw things we've never seen on film. And to Indiana's credit, good for them because, they had 4 quarterbacks. We didn't know what quarterback was going to play. We had 2 completely separate game plans. Right? It takes enough to make one. We had 2, right? So you can tell how hard our coaches work throughout the week. And then you apply the one that comes in, right? And then there's 6, 7 plays that you've never even seen before, right? That, okay, if we're going to get that, we better adjust to that really quickly. 7-0. And I thought we really settled down, made some great sideline adjustments. We got an incredible defensive staff and found a way to be able to shut them down until the final drive and with a few seconds left. And that's I hold people to a high standard. Guys want opportunities to play, and you get in there and you get a chance to play, and we give up a touchdown, and we've got to realize you've got to get in there and fail. Get in, you got to go play, but scoring a touchdown in the end is not acceptable. But you've got to get in there and get playing. So, but I thought the sideline adjustments and in-game adjustments are really good defensively.
When you look at Wisconsin's defense, what jumps out to you with them?
Everything, all of them. They're probably better up front, and they're 8 guys they rotate. With all due respect, right? Than anybody we've been probably since maybe one other year I can remember that I can compare it to up front. I think their linebackers are better than they've ever been. Better than they've ever been. I mean, they are very, very good. That Sanborn kid is really good. The Chanel kid's very good. I mean, he's 260 pounds, but he moves like he's 220. And he's thick and he'll hit you. He's strong. He could play defensive end for you, but he's running like a linebacker. Their secondary is very intelligent, very smart. Keep everything in front of them. Maybe one of the best defenses we've played against in our time here of any opponent. They're very good, and especially a Wisconsin team comparing them to, but probably one of the best defenses we played since we've been here, and that's credit to Coach Leonard and Coach Chris, who I have an enormous amount of respect for, and their staff of what they've been able to accomplish and the type of players they have and how well they play.
PJ, on top of the acts and possible implications in the West, Saturday is senior day. The guys that you have played a lot of football for you and hung through, a lot of extra time. What can you say to us about the commitment that they've shown to come back?
Well, I think one of the commitments, when you look at Connor Olson, I mean, he's played in more college football games than anyone in the history of the league. That's a lot of football games. And he's going to be a doctor. This isn't just, just a football meathead. I'm just going to play football. This is what we're talking about, academically, athletically, socially, and spiritually. And this is a young man had a decision when we first got here to be here or not, and has stuck it out all those years, and then wanted to come back and wanted to be here extra years. Could have left 2 years ago. let alone come back in 20 and then 21. This is a very intelligent young man, just like a lot of those seniors are. We've got guys like that. We've got guys that are walking that probably won't be here anymore. That we had committed us at Western Michigan University, then reoffered them, and then they came here to Minnesota. That'll be playing in their last game, regular season game. It really is an eclectic group, of guys who have all come together for one common goal, is to make the University of Minnesota better and create moments and memories that will stick with them for a lifetime. And this group that's going to be walking did that. You think back of what they've accomplished in their 4 or 5 years, over the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, there's some historic wins in there, some unbelievable moments and memories. And they'll never remember the scores, but they'll remember the moments. They'll remember, bed checks. They'll remember, just the things we did together as a football team. They'll remember moments on the field after huge historic wins, maybe some defeats. But the scores, those things will pass over time. But it's the relationships they're forming, the camaraderie they're forming. They mean a lot to not only now that's going on, come Saturday, but they mean a lot to the future of the program and what they're passing down to everybody else. And in a very, a very changing world of college football of what it's looking like, and where we're headed as a game. So this, this group who's walking deserves a lot of credit for what they've all been through and how they've led not only themselves and this team, but I think a community through some very, very, very difficult times, including last year and the pandemic and social injustice. And they've seen a lot in their college days, maybe more than we've seen. And they've handled it in a way to connect a lot of people. And I'm very proud of them and what they've done for the future of our program.
With Tanner, how encouraged were you from Saturday that he was willing to take those shots, including that second touchdown? He sees the linebacker coming right at his face, but he still steps into it, gives Chris a chance, and he's able to get the touchdown.
That's who he is. He's a really tough. He's a competitor. He's a really tough competitor. I don't ever worry about Tanner's competitiveness or courage. I mean, he was hit twice in that game, sacked none. And when we do that, we're pretty good. We've had 1 or 2 games where we've got sacked a lot and hit a lot, and we didn't win those games. So there's a common denominator in that. And, I never like to do this, but, I always talk about how, well, let's put you back there. Let's get you hit 6, 7 times, right, by Big Ten people and see how comfortable you are. And Tanner's as courageous as he gets. It's hard to get back there. And that's why, when you talk about defensive football, get after the quarterback, get him uncomfortable, get him off his spot, hit him early. Those are the things in football that if you do can have an effect on the game. And when we keep our quarterback clean, right, we can be really good because he can be really confident, deliver really accurate passes, or at least the ability for our guys to go make plays. They have scholarships, we have scholarships, but I'll take our chances on guys making plays when the ball's in the air more times than not. And we gave him great opportunities. And even in the Iowa game, he threw some really good passes. We had too many drops in that game. I thought this game our wideouts came back and responded really well. And that's what you want to see from, besides Crab, a pretty youthful, inexperienced wide receiving core, as we talked at the beginning of the year, but they're really talented. And I think people are starting to see that as well as a collective whole. And you throw Brevin Spanford in there, people are starting to see his athleticism. And I thought you saw that before, but his toughness in terms of blocking and not only in the pass game, but becoming an all-around tight end. And there's some really good young players at the tight end position too that are going to be in the mix with young Gronk and Jameson Gears, and there's some really good people in the pipeline that we haven't had a chance to even play because some of the guys are playing really well right now. So,
you talk about that cultural sustainability. You feel like the Big Ten, that's more of a thing in the Big Ten than elsewhere. There's just so many programs like Minnesota now, like whereas guys they keep committing to the same coach and they want to keep the same system in place, and around the country, a lot of other power conferences, it's been a lot of firings and hirings lately.
Yeah, there sure has. It's kind of a dog-eat-dog world, We understand the profession we're in. We understand the pressures to win. But I think it was Joe a few weeks back, or maybe it was even Rosie in the radio show that asked me, you get paid to win, though. you know, and I get all that. I still believe in college athletics, and we all understand we have to win, but there's still programs and cultures and academically, athletically, socially, spiritually. We want these players to get their degree, have great grades, take their academics very seriously, do the right things on and off the field, right? Be a great member to society, be a great humanitarian, live a philanthropic life, make your life about somebody else, and really educate and teach. We're the last safety net before they get to the real world. And, you know, results are really important, but they're not the number one thing we ever talk about. Even the questions you have in here, did you win, did you lose? There's so many things that go involved into that. These guys are going to be better husbands, better men, better fathers, better people when they leave our program. And that's all I can control. And I'm going to continue to do that. So there's a lot of things going around the country. You know, coaches had great years last year that don't have jobs now, and a year later. I'm thankful and incredibly grateful that I have a boss and a president, President Gable, Mark Coyle, who see the big picture of what we're doing. And I can only speak for us. I can't speak for everybody else in the country of what's going on. But I enjoy the challenge of making the University of Minnesota better every single day and making our players better every single day. And I value that. And I'm sure that at some point, you don't win enough games, at some point, people get fired. And I'm no different than that. I'm not exempt to that. But I think when you look back on it, you know, at the end of the day, I've always said that did we make it better? Was it better when we left it than when we found it, somehow, some way? That's not comparing it to anybody else. It's just, do you feel like you've made it better and made your players better somehow? And that's the only thing you can do in a world that we're living in right now, where it's just win at all cost. There's a lot of negativity in our society. Everybody has the ability to say what they want, when they want to say it, how they want to say it, to whom they want to say it, and everyone has a voice. And I mean, just look up your phone today and look at the headlines, whether it's, you know, Fox or CNN or ABC or NBC or whatever. Just look, and it's full of negativity. It's full of things that are not going well in our world. There's not a lot of positive things that are written right now. And I want to make sure our program is a positive program, a realistic program, but a positive program, where you can take all that external noise, bring it in, and we can internalize it and give a different perspective on it and really make it better instead of just, you know, external, listen to that, and don't worry about the internal. That's what the internal versus the external is all about. So long story, or a long answer to your question, but it's I think we all understand our profession, and you've got to somehow put your head on the pillow at night knowing you're doing everything you can to be the best you can be, and just keep changing your best, and you know, and live a life of significance. You know, and Heather sent me something last week, and it was about significance, and it was Tim Tebow talking about the difference between success and significance. And I think that we, as a society, just value the success. But what is success? What's success to all of you? But significance, we can all agree that if you have a significant impact on somebody and making somebody else's lives better, then you're doing the right things. So hope that's a okay answer to your question.
You gonna wear some Nebraska apparel on Friday?
No, no way. We don't wear any red anyway. So, but here's the thing I'll say on that. It's actually a really good question, because of I know what you're getting at. We've talked to our players, right? Because there's a game played Friday night. We have no control over that, right? Whatever the outcome of that game is, we have no control over that. So we're kind of ignoring that. We really are. The only focus is the Axe. It's not about the championship or the West or anything like that, because a few weeks ago we allowed that to be out of our control, right, by how we played and losing a game. So that we had the control, and now we don't have the control. What we do have control of is how we play against Wisconsin, and that's the only thing we're going to talk about. It's the only thing we mentioned to them on yesterday's team meeting. Everybody else is going to talk about what's at stake and what are the matchups, because it gives everybody something to talk about for the whole week. There's 18 total teams, right, that have a chance to fill 10 spots in championship games. We're one of the 18 in the entire country, right? So we told them that. That's the only thing we told them. I said, that's the last time we're ever going to talk about it. Don't listen to anything else. We're one of the 18 teams that can fill those 10 spots. There's only 18 teams left in the country that can do that, and we're one of them in the last week of the season, right, for the second straight year, right, of real football, okay? So what we have to be able to do is take care of our job. And at the end of the day, if you win, you get the Axe, no matter what. The axe is the axe is what matters. Does the axe come with something else, or does the axe just come with the axe? But the axe is the axe, and that's what this week's all about. So doing everything we can to drown out the external noise, because we can't control that. And I said, I don't want a bunch of sad people on Friday night if it doesn't work out, or anxious people on Friday night if it does work out. That's not what we want. We want to eliminate that distraction. So our constant focus, right, is going to be on Wisconsin, where it should be. It's one of the best teams in the country, one of the best coach teams in the country, and one of the best teams we played since I've been here. And so we need to play our best football, period, no matter what's at stake. But what always is at stake is the axe, which is incredibly special to both programs, which we know.
TJ, do you expect your starters from the Indiana game to all be available? Any injury concerns there? And quickly, what jumps out to you right away about the Wisconsin offense?
Well, first of all, I don't expect anybody being out with injuries or anything like that. We came away from the game pretty clean, which was I thought we tackled better than we've tackled in games prior, especially in the secondary. I thought we're getting better. Some of those young guys are really learning, what it takes. But the Wisconsin offense, they're efficient. I've known Joe Rudolph for a long time. Joe Rudolph and I were GAs together at Ohio State, and I've known him for a long time. They're very efficient. They take care of the football. They do what they do. They run the ball. They play action pass. Mertz has gotten so much better from the beginning of the year to where he is now. He's got complete control of the offense. And they get everybody involved. But they do not – it's Wisconsin. They don't beat themselves. That's what they've always – they don't beat themselves. And, they put points on the board, go down the field, time of possession, and are very efficient. So Coach Chris has done a great job. He's very consistent over his time there of what they've done and how they've done it. And then Coach Rudolph, he's been there the whole time too with that, and is an excellent coach and a terrific man. And so we've got to be at our best. We've got a lot of film to go over and study and keep doing that because there's always new wrinkles. They do what they do, but there's always wrinkles. And every year you go back and look at, 17 and 18 and 19 and 20, and you go back through those games and, what could have we done better? What changes did we make that worked and didn't work? Same with them. What wrinkles they put in and why? So, but it's a big game for us. We know that. And I know both teams are going to battle really hard for the axe. All right. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it, everybody. Row the boat, Sky Ma. Go Gophers. Thank you.